There's a quiet kind of poetry in Formula One, a rhythm beneath the chaos, a personal story tucked into the roar of engines and the spray of wet tires. And this season, that poetry found a voice in a familiar figure, a man who's danced with potential, endured disappointment, and yet remained unshaken in his pursuit of something more. Nico Hülkenberg. When the 2025 Formula One season kicked off under grey skies in Melbourne, Australia, it wasn't a reigning world champion who stole the spotlight. It wasn't a rookie making waves or a mega team asserting dominance. It was Hülkenberg, back in Sauber green for the first time in over a decade, who quietly, masterfully reminded the paddock why he's still here. In a race that twisted and turned with the unpredictable pulse of Melbourne's weather, Hülkenberg scored more points in one go than the entire team managed in all of 2024. 6 glorious, hard-earned points that did more than just lift Sauber up the standings. They lit a fire of belief. But before that breakthrough, before the champagne and smiles, before the headlines and fist bumps, Hülkenberg sat down with F1.com in the calm before the storm. It was Bahrain, pre-season testing. The paddock was buzzing, as it always does when a new car breathes life for the first time. And in the heart of Kick Sauber's hospitality unit, Nico Hülkenberg looked relaxed. Content, even. Not too shabby, he grinned, describing his winter, a typically understated way to sum up a life that had just come full circle. Because this wasn't just a driver returning to a former team. This was a man returning to a project, one now infused with the promise and power of Audi. A team with a different name, a different vision, and soon, a very different future. It had been 12 years since Hülkenberg last pulled on Sauber colors. That 2013 season had seen him punch far above the car's weight. P10 in the standings, and that memorable 4th place in Korea, when he fended off Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso in a scrap for the ages. Since then, the landscape of F1 had changed beyond recognition. Hybrid power, budget caps, sprint races, drive to survive. But some things remained constant. Hülkenberg's determination and the unfinished business that brought him back. Walking back through the doors of Sauber's Hinwil HQ wasn't drenched in nostalgia. It was a reality check. More new faces than familiar ones, he admitted. The team had evolved. Personnel had changed. But the spirit? That ambition to punch upwards, to prove doubters wrong, that was still there. Only now, it was turbocharged by the might of Audi. We've been busy over the winter, Nico explained. But I'm more of a practical guy. That's why I'm happy we're finally back in the car and doing the real thing. That car, the 2025 Kick Sauber C45, is a symbol of the team's transitional phase. Still not a fully fledged Audi machine, but no longer just a privateer effort either. And for Hülkenberg, adapting to it meant more than just muscle memory. It meant recalibrating everything, from the way he felt the grip through the wheel to how he communicated with engineers he'd only just met. He was coming from Haas, a team that, while modest in stature, had finished a solid 7th in the previous championship. Sauber, by contrast, had finished dead last. 1 points finish in 24 races. It wasn't a move made for short-term success. It was a move made for something deeper. A long game. A future. It's a familiarization phase, Hülkenberg said. A new car, a new team. It doesn't happen overnight. But then came Melbourne. Qualifying didn't exactly sparkle. Knocked out in Q1. A painful reminder of where Kick Sauber stood in dry conditions. But race day flipped the script. When the rain came, first a drizzle, then a downpour, then that awkward in-between, the grid was thrown into uncertainty. But in chaos, Hülkenberg found clarity. He kept the car on the island while others faltered. And when the team called him in for inters at the precise right moment during the final shower, it was game on. 7th place, 6 points, jubilation. After the race, Hülkenberg was as level-headed as ever. The conditions were tricky, he said, but we managed to stay clean and make the most out of it. Credit to the team, they nailed the strategy. It wasn't just a feel-good moment. It was a signal, a shift, a reminder that with the right driver, the right call, and a bit of racing instinct, even a team that had been counted out could rise again. And at the center of it all, a driver who had never stood on a Formula One podium, yet carried himself like someone who'd seen it all. Because he has. That performance no doubt brought a smile to the faces of Kick Sauber's new leadership duo, Mattia Binotto and Jonathan Wheatley. 2 men with very different backgrounds, now united by a common goal, turning Sauber into a title-challenging Audi Works team. Binotto, the former Ferrari boss, is now COO and CTO, a master of engineering who understand the alchemy of F1 not just as science, but as politics, as people, as pressure. Wheatley, on the other hand, is the new team principal, fresh from Red Bull, where he helped orchestrate one of the most dominant dynasties in modern motorsport. Their arrival signals intent, not just to survive, but to win. And Hülkenberg is already feeling the change. Mattia has been great, he said. He checks in often. There's a lot of communication, and I enjoy that. Jonathan brings experience and success. You can feel it. The atmosphere is shifting. It's not just people either. The resources are growing. Engineering teams are expanding. The project is evolving. Every inch of the organization being sharpened for 2026, when Audi officially takes full control. James Key, a veteran of F1 technical rooms, is overseeing the design of the all-new 2026 chassis. Meanwhile, deep in Nürburgring, Germany, Audi is building their own power unit from scratch to meet the demands of the new regulations. In the UK, a state-of-the-art tech center is nearly ready to support the effort. And yet, for all this future gazing, Hülkenberg remains grounded in the now. This year is a build-up, he said, getting to know everyone, really connecting. But it's also a championship year. We want to improve. We have to. It's a rare moment in F1, where the future is being sculpted in plain sight, but the present still demands everything. Every lap counts. Every data point matters. Hülkenberg knows it. Binotto knows it. Wheatley, too. They are laying foundations, pouring cement into a vision that stretches well beyond one season. But as every brick is laid, there's the constant reminder, this is Formula One. The midfield is brutal. The margins are minuscule. And belief, more than money or machinery, can be the biggest differentiator. I hope we can break into that midfield battle and annoy a few people. Hülkenberg smiled. That would be very nice. His optimism isn't naive. It's the hardened belief of someone who's been through it all. From the glory of pole position in Brazil as a rookie to the gut punch of missed podiums and lost seats. Over 200 races, more than 500 points, but still waiting for that fairy tale moment. Maybe, just maybe, Audi is the final chapter he's been waiting to write. There's something poetic about a driver like Nico Hülkenberg, standing at the intersection of past experience and future promise. He's not chasing superstardom. He's chasing fulfillment, teamwork, purpose. I just enjoy being part of this project, he said. Besides racing, contributing to something bigger. That gives me a lot of satisfaction. That's the heartbeat of this story. A story not about overnight success, but about steady progress. About a driver who never gave up, a team that's finding its identity again, and a future shaped by the courage to dream beyond the midfield. As we wrapped up, Hülkenberg offered a fist bump and went straight back to work. No victory laps, no grand declarations, just a grind, just a ride. And somewhere in that humble pursuit lies the magic, the soul of Formula One, the part that reminds us why we watch, why we care, because it's not always about the fastest car. Sometimes it's about the people who never stopped believing they could get there. And as Audi's star slowly begins to rise over the grid, Nico Hülkenberg is right there with it, patient, persistent, and poised for something special. That's why we'll keep watching. That's why we'll keep hoping. Because stories like this, they're what make Formula One feel like home. Hello, McLaren faithfuls. Stand a chance of winning $1,000 by hitting that like button, drop a comment below, and subscribe so you never miss any McLaren and F1 updates with relaxing ASMR elements. McLaren Faithful's YouTube channel is now covered in English and multiple languages. Your support is what keeps this incredible community growing stronger every day. It costs you nothing to like and subscribe, but it helps the channel tremendously. Let's continue the conversation and share our passion for McLaren and F1 together. As a YouTube member, you can also discover my journey as a passionate creator navigating life with challenging disabilities. Despite the obstacles, I'm determined to follow my dreams and share my love for McLaren and F1 with the world. By becoming a YouTube member, you'll not only be supporting my dream, but you'll also gain access to exclusive content, including untold stories of legendary F1 drivers and much more. Your support can truly make a difference in my life, helping me continue to do what I love. Join McLaren Faithful's membership below and enjoy.